Hey folks, Paul Suggitt, Jamie Boyle. There's a little bit of a backstory to this, and that backstory quite simply is we've got some concerns, or we've had some concerns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for the people who don't know, we're filming a documentary at the moment on the life of Lee Duffy, very down the middle, 50-50. We don't cast judgment and so on and so forth. And naturally, Jamie Boyle's an author. He's got 2 books out on Lee Duffy. He's got some really good subject knowledge. He's interviewed a lot of people for his books and so on. And there was a lot of value to bring that into this documentary and have him on it. However, and I'm not going to go into a lot of it with who and whoever or whatever. Needless to say, there's a lot going around on the internet at the minute about you. Mm-hmm. And you know, when I've kind of given you a bit of a hard time these last couple of weeks, haven't I, behind the scenes?
Yeah, you have.
Because I need to know that you're the right person that we're working with, for it. Because we've got a lot at stake, in the documentary and for future projects as is. And so I said I was coming over to see you, and it was like, well, I said I want the truth, and you went, you know what, I'm prepared to give you the truth. And you even said if you need to put a camera in front of us, do whatever. And I can honestly 100% say, folks, right now, I'm going to be coming up with these issues that I see for us.
You don't even really know the answers.
I don't. And this is the whole thing with this. This just needs to come out as it comes out. And then this will go out as is. And for me, you were going to tell me this anyway. I was coming up and I wanted answers to some of the questions I've tried to chat to you about on the phone, and it's difficult on a phone to try and get the true measure of these things, and sometimes it is as it is. So based on it, we've brought a camera, and we're plonked in front of the camera because if you start bullshitting me, you're bullshitting everybody else out there as well. And it's
Oscar Wilde said, confessions are good for the soul, but bad for the reputation.
Well, there you go. So that's a bit of a backstory, folks. There is a fair bit of shit going on around the internet about him from multiple different sources, and then everybody else has an opinion, and it just gets messy. And I've raised an eyebrow, and I kind of want to get to the bottom of it because, you're involved in this project, and this project is big for us. It's a big story for Teesside, for and the wider audience, and we want it absolutely right. And it's important for me that I know I'm working with good people who are, switched on. So at the end of the day, I mean, we're talking about the project, Lee Duffy. It has been hard work,
Yeah, I mean, do you know something? I mean, I've been said many times, the curse of Lee Duffy will get you. That's what people have said to me. And sometimes me and you have said, something, is this actually worth it? Because it's almost like being doomed from the start. If it's not one thing, it's something, and, and
the story itself is absolutely worth it, right? Because everybody has an opinion on Lee Duffy. We know that. And, we've tried to do this properly in every way because, again, yes, I'm similar age. I knew of him, but I didn't know him. Yeah. And I can't cast judgment on that. You've got a lot of this subject knowledge and so on. But again, for us, with everything going out there and lots of people talking about Lee Duffy and, good, bad, comments coming in, and then coupled with all the shit going on with you, it kind of, it got us to a crucial point of having to have a chat.
Yeah.
Not on just this occasion, on previous occasions as well, to say, is your mind in this for us?
It's been. Anyone who knows me knows I don't really swear, but it's been fucking tough. Like the last couple of weeks, I've had to remain kind of quiet. And I mean, I watch a lot of Russell Brand stuff, How to Deal with Trolls and all this. And he said, when you listen to something, you should always first acknowledge where you're getting your source from. And, there's been absolute, utter, ludicrous nonsense. But there's also been true stories that, although years or various different, periods in my life have actually came back to haunt me. And it has been the case, but when you're young, these footballers, they get taught how to deal with the women and the gambling and I exploded kind of on the scene, if you like, a couple of years back, and then it's quite hard sometimes, Paul, when, I got some today, like messages telling me they hate me. It's not the usual fat.
Have you got your phone with you, or is it turned off? Or?
Turned off. All
right, I was going to say we could read a couple of them out.
Yeah, I'll send you them. But it's another level now, to the point where this is like, wow, I've got people all over Britain hating me, and they've never met me, and it's like,
And why do you think that is? Because truthfully, I mean, that's something I want to know. Why are you one of kind of the most hated people in Britain at the minute? That sounds dramatic, but no, I told you. I said if you were going to do this, I'm not going to hold back. I'm putting you on the spot, Jamie, because
you are.
I'm also sounding you out here because I've got some future projects planned as well that I think you'd be good in, and I'm kind of sounding this out, and it's a crucial point for us. So being in the media game, it was like, right, you want a camera, if you want to tell a lie to me, you're going to tell a lie to everybody else.
Yeah, I asked, I've got it, I suppose. I've got two barrels staring at me. Listen,
why are you hated? Why do you think?
In my opinion, right, if you go in any Waterstones, there's 330 of them in Britain, and you ask what their most popular genre is, it's true crime. Whether it's Jack the Ripper, the Yorkshire Ripper. Now, the facts of the matter are, right, I've done some books on characters that people would have thought, fuck that, I'm not doing him. Yeah. Your Paul Sykes, it's like I wouldn't have done the book if I'd have been from Wakefield, but, when I read the comments, I've had the backlashes, I thought, well, it doesn't really matter because I don't know them. Your Roy Shaws, your Lee Duffys, another a few characters, and they're all mixed. They all bring highly mixed emotions, and I could sit here to you, Paul, right, and I could establish facts, and I could say, I pay this charity a month, I pay that charity a month, registered charities like Bradley Lowry Foundation, but do you know something? I mean,
and can you say that then? Bradley Lowry Foundation, you've been given money to?
1,000,000%. Right, from day one.
Fair play. So you can check up on that one, folks.
There's a few.
I've told you, it's probably the first time in all the time I've known you, I'm holding you account for some of these things that you're coming.
Well, do you know, when I was young, I was like a young amateur boxer, right? And that man, John Pearce, was my hero. Yeah. And I remember him, I boxed one of the Zamans from Middlesbrough anyway, and he was handing the trophies out. And I used to grow up idolise, I still do. I've got like a secret crush on you, John. But anyway, basically, he said to me, do you know something? He was telling someone, he said, there's only one person in Middlesbrough who would have done them books on Lee Duffy, was Jamie Boyle. I don't know whether it's because he's weird or whether he just doesn't give a shit. And I don't know, it's I've had everyone ringing me, threatening me, all these kind of things, and now for me, of course, I'm only human, and it gets to the point where, why does my wife get abused? Why are my kids getting threatened? Because I can take it, but then, and I think this is.
Do you think you indirectly wind any of these people up, or do you think you cause any of it, or? I'm just genuine question.
Right, listen, if I was writing, I've done a few boxers' books, right? And as much as people like Josh Warrington and Ricky Burns are my heroes, and I respect them greatly, do people want to, I'm not particularly saying them. I mean, I say, for instance, Frank Bruno, right? Do people want to read about Frank Bruno at a nice 8-week camp and he feels great? Or do they want to read stories about Paul Sykes allegedly raping men in prison, Lee Duffy taking over the town, Roy Shaw being sectioned, kicking cell doors off? That's the difference. And, I'm dipping my toes in.
All right, let's look at some of these characters, right? Living characters.
Yeah, go on.
Right. Do you think when you get into, say, a business relationship with them, you get too close to them, too in depth?
Do you know something? That's been my biggest I'm aware of that. I'm absolutely, utterly aware of it. And you know, the last couple of weeks, sometimes when I've been sat thinking, I've knocked the pan out for him, I've done this, done that. You know, I start the day talking to God, and I sleep with rosary beads in my hand, and finish talking to God. And I've been sat thinking, I've done out for, but the biggest thing is I'm probably too emotional, and I've let myself get too close where, you know, and it's a case of, listen, there's a saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And that's what I think, you know, am I guilty of being too emotional, too genuine? You know, want to see people do well. I think I've been guilty of that. And, you know, really what I should do for the future now is hang on a minute, I'm just going to take a backward step. You know, as much as I love whatever.
Yeah, but surely this is a business. So you're Jamie Boyle, the author, they're your subject, and there's got to be a line.
Yeah.
Down the middle. There has to be a line that if you cross over, things can go bad. Well, for both sides,
well, do you know,
not just one side.
The books where there has been the line has been very successful. You know, Gary Shaw, Roy Shaw's son, I'm working with him again. Me and you are going to be making the documentary. You know, I think the world of Gary, but we don't really see each other. He's never really needed help. You know.
All right. Well, yeah. Tell you what, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You know, with that, then, right? One of the biggest things you're being accused of at the moment out there, apart from being whatever, you know, is drugs, right? People, and I read the comments, right? A lot of people, and out of respect, I don't talk to you about any of it.
Joe Rogan and Sean Atwood said it's the sewers, you shouldn't do it. But yeah, go on, I got the question.
Yeah, drugs, right? That's, you know, I've got to be honest, right? This week, I saw video surface online with you from January.
He looked like me, but he wasn't.
Yeah, you can't bullshit this, Jamie. From January, right? Yeah. In some snooker hall or whatever, and you were off your fucking tits on that video. Yeah. Unless you can find a way out of that or justify that, then to me, these people out there have actually they've got some credible mud to throw at you, because you did. You know, I've seen it. You're sniffing the devil's dandruff. You know, as they call it, whatever, right? And there's a lot, not just on that one video, but across a series of different posts across various social media sites and non-social media sites, blog posts, and you name it, out there, and they're all coming back and saying, well, not everybody, but it's a figure of speech, but multiple people in the hundreds are coming back and saying, the guy's on drugs, the guy is absolutely off his tits all the time. I've got to be honest, right, today, you actually look all right, you know, but no, seriously, excuse me, get back to this. I had a concern when I seen that, and I rang you to say, like, you know, and I don't pull any punches, like, what the fuck's all this about, you know, we're working together on this, and there's got to be a degree of honesty, because if you're tipping up and, you know, you're off your tits and everything like that, it isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. And I like to think, with all the footage that we've captured of you over these last few months, you have, you know, you've been tired and everything, and we've put a video out there, a film out there of you with a yawn counter on and stuff like that. But realistically, you have delivered those goods for us. Now, talk to us about this, and why are these rumours going around, Jamie?
Right. How far do you want me to go back?
I want you to be honest. Just go back to wherever you think. Don't go off on a tangent or anything like that. Let's keep the subject on this. You know, these accusations about you being on drugs.
Right. Everyone starts, not everyone, listen. I started taking drugs when I was 17. 18.
What type of drugs?
Ecstasy, cocaine, all this, you know, cannabis kind of stuff. And that life was kind of, for me, I mean, I had a bad, you know, I've never ever really said this, but crack cocaine addiction in 2002 for 5 months. And
fair play, at least you've got the balls to it.
Yeah, I've never told that to anyone. There's obviously people out there, but from August 2002 to March 2003, and that was really as bad. And then everyone has a period where, particularly in Middlesbrough, where you're taking drugs and it's out there and it's rife. And that my life of taking drugs finished when I had my son, when I was like 27. So although I kind of packed and didn't really do that till when I was 24, the odd once or twice a year, 25, 26, it happened. What you're referring to now is something that I give up alcohol in November the 2016 for 18 weeks, right? 18 weeks, give up alcohol. And I was like, what do I do now? My mates were watching Tony Bellew day by day and all this, and I just turned into a complete hermit. And what I did, because I give up alcohol, I started taking prescription drugs, right? Which was cocodamol, codeine, diazepam, temazepam, all these kind of different things. I broke my arm. I don't know if you see that.
Oh yeah.
You zoom in on the camera, I'm sure, when you finish. January 2019, and that was when I broke my arm, broke my foot, drunk Jameson's whiskey, and basically, listen, I'm going to put my hands up here, but that was the start of the bad. Now they just basically started throwing drugs at me, so I was taking.
Who started throwing drugs at you? Anyone ever? I'm not asking you to name names.
The doctors.
Oh, the doctors, right. I thought from a different type of supply.
I like at one point got into a fight in Middlesbrough, broke a finger on a guy's jaw, broke my foot, and broke the arm. And got to the point where I was on like 6 cocodamol a day, then I was having 6 cocodamol in the night, and then I was going to Middlesbrough. Unbelievably, I actually like, listen, it's for me, and it's I'm opening up, and predominantly it's my actions, but so some certain people have actually had the audacity to try and blackmail me. But yeah, I went through a period, and I think the biggest thing was the really, really most gripping thing. I'm going to tell you a story I've never told anyone. There's 2 stories. My best friend Neil Booth, God love him, he lost his son, Sambo Booth, on December the 27th. So we were at his funeral in January 2020, and even though he was grieving for his son, he pulled my wife to one side and he said, "You need to sort him out, meaning me, because the next funeral will be at was me." Now, I didn't see myself. Yeah. It's something that's stuck in my life, stuck in my head. I'm eternally grateful for Neil, and there's another story I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But because I wasn't out robbing handbags, because I wasn't out on heroin and crack and drugs, I thought it's fine. I can have a couple of diazepam and watch a film, and that's what I did in bed every night. And it went to weeks and months, to the point where I had to. It was like going out, just kind of. And I was filming last year, and this is pure divine intervention. And James English, everyone knows who James English is. I was filming at a house, and anyway, we were talking. Lovely guy, very handsome. James, I call him Shagger. And then he rang me about 3 weeks after, and I could tell he wanted to say something to me. And he was like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, what you doing ringing me?" Thinking, Anyway, about a week later, he rang again. He said, "Don't be offended, don't be upset what I'm going to say." And I was like, "Right, okay." And he was like, I'll never forget the words, right? He went to me, "Your permanently fucked you." And I was like, wow. And I was like, it was almost like God. Because the wife said to me for years, behave. And I'd be like, in my head, say, "Oh, look, I'm not out drinking. I'm not out having an affairs. I'm not out nightclubbing. I've just took a couple of 6 cocodamol and I'm watching a film and I'm relaxed and I'm subdued and there's no hangover and I can still work and all this kind of stuff." And do you know what? James English was the minute I woke up, because he said to me, "You're going to die." And it was like, what I was taking, I mean, I took strips of diazepam blues, and I think I had 12. And someone died that week who didn't have nowhere near how many I had. And that was like, James English said to me, how many chances do you need? And it was like, you know, my son, you know, he didn't, and it dawned on me how selfish I was, you know, kind of, because I was making excuses. I didn't want to drink anymore because I didn't want the hangovers, but I thought these tablets are all right. And you know, I've done a lot of research these last couple of months. Jamie Lee Curtis, she was on them. James English, he's been on them. You know, I watch a lot of Tom Hardy's been clean. Paul Venice, you know, I've been in his house today, and people think, you know, I'm helping him, if you like, for his career. Paul's helping me. Paul's been clean 7 years. And the truth is, Paul, right, I didn't even think I was going to cross this bridge. You know, there'll be people out there thinking, take the piss. You know, I can't defend it. It's, you know, was I out kicking doors and robbing people? No. Was I taking prescription drugs and being sedated mostly every day? Yeah, I was.
So, the question is then, right now, people are still accusing you of being on. Are you actually on? No. What drugs are you on now?
The only thing, you know, I give up. I've got my diary upstairs, actually. March the 4th was my last day. I written Steve Race's book. You know, I spent a lot of time with Steve. He can clarify. The only thing I'm on is, obviously, when I was young, I took a lot of punches to the nose. So I got my nose rebuilt 2014. I should have had it years ago, but because I left it, it got worse. And basically, I always thought it was, you know, my nose. I used to walk about like that because I could breathe better. Anyway, I got my nose rebuilt and I still had problems. And it turns out, it gradually, over the last 5 years, you know, because I've went out my way, and, you know, even before the books, I was doing an evening with footballers and boxers, and you know, being in there, listen, I'm not famous at all, but I'm in the spotlight and I'm there to be shot at.
All right.
And can I just say that, you know, it's like, you know, when I was a labourer or a car park attendant 4 years ago, you know, and the wife said to me, Jamie, go get a job in Tesco and Asda. And it's like, sometimes I wish I could go back to that, because I have, you know, it's like people want to fight me, old men, 65, young kids, 19-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It's like the second I react, which gets me at times, you know. And
why? This is what I can't understand. Why do they just want to fight you? You know, something must have caused that. Because I'm not going to come along and just say, hey, I just suddenly want to kick the shit out of you. You know, you would have had to do something.
It's not always like that. But, you know, listen, there's one person, right? This is what was really astonishing for me.
No names.
Yeah, of course, no names. I know the drill. I went to the school with this person for 28 years, never ever said a bad word, ever. And I read on a state, and this person was in all the top classes, and I was in all the bottom classes at school, right? I don't know. And this person was saying, best-selling author, he can't even spell Bob backwards. And I'm sat thinking, I liked you. And I thought you liked me. And it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know.
You're going to get the keyboard warriors, though. You're always going to get the keyboard warriors. There's going to be keyboard warriors start caning the shit out of this.
Yeah, of course it is. And listen, do you know what? Out of all the stuff I've done over the last couple of years, you know, my anxiety, people. But yeah, that's the next question. But you know, out of everything I've done the last couple of years, this is the stuff that if I get hammered, then I'm going to get hammered, and rightly so.
You're right, because I have already said I want to drill down and find out about this anxiety, because every time somebody comes up and says you're on drugs or whatever it is, you always hit back with, it's my anxiety. So let's talk about that, right? You obviously suffer from anxiety, so let us all know kind of how that affects you, why that makes you look like you're on drugs, for instance, or people to interpret that you're on drugs. It's a perfect forum because, again, I've heard you say that to me when I've quizzed you. It's like, are you all right?
Do I look like I'm on drugs now?
No.
Right. Because that's because I'm on CBD oil. Now, I'm actually on, like, I'm not going to mention his name, but we know a person. Yeah. And I've been given, like, the stuff from, like, the doctors. And I'm on, you know, I'm always buying it, kind of. People probably say I end up being addicted to that. You know, it's like, I'm glad crystal meth hasn't come to this country, because I get addicted to everything. Do you know that pool? Do you know them games of pool on your phone? Yeah. I got addicted to that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
so you got addiction.
Do you know what I mean? But listen, to be honest,
anxiety,
it's, you know, because I've been to the doctors and I've had my nose completely up. You know, they're like, well, maybe we should do it again. But sometimes I can look out of breath. You know, I'm not fit. I'm not a boxer anymore. I'm not fit. But, you know, I could still probably run a couple of miles for a fat lad. But sometimes it's anxiety. It's you know, let's be honest. Some of the characters I've done books on. I remember talking to a Newcastle author once, and he was like, "You've got some balls for doing it." And I've got no gang behind me.
So bring that back then to the anxiety. In your words, how does it make you feel?
Kind of embarrassed, to be honest, because, you know...
Yeah, let's go back to the anxiety then, the feelings of anxiety. You know, how would you know you're feeling anxious about something in your eyes? Because it's that point I'm trying to get to for us all to figure out why are people thinking you're on drugs, but you're saying I'm on anxiety.
And, like, you know, it's like I was with Paddy Maloney the other month, and I said, you know, I've never been this nervous since I boxed, like, 25 years ago or whatever. But I can be sat here, right, and I can be, you know, like, I have my good days and bad days, but that's the stuff that, you know, I'm on a CBD on.
If you were breathing in heavy, I would probably think you're having a panic attack. I wouldn't think that you're on drugs. So I'm just trying to figure out why people are thinking you're on drugs because of the anxiety. Because you go back and you're saying, it's my anxiety. And maybe you have to take some sort of prescription drug or whatever it is to combat that. But right now, you're not. You're just on the CBD and...
CBD oil and meditation. Obviously, I'm seeking professional help, and I was before this COVID-19, but I want this, you know, kind of... Because it's like, I'm 40-year-old, and I've had this since... It's got really bad since I've been in the spotlight. And, you know, it's hard sometimes, though. Like, it's really, you know, people like film stars or what, they get used, they get taught, when all of a sudden I'm just a normal guy. And then it's really surreal how it's flattering. It's really nice sometimes. People come and say, "Oh, Jamie Boyle," and they want pictures, and say, "Oh, I read your book," and then I get the other, you know, and I think I said it to Paul Venice today. I said, "You know something? If I didn't know Jamie Boyle, I probably wouldn't like him." You know, I mean,
and is that because of all the bad press?
It's, you know, if anyone's read my books, listen, like, Paul Sykes was the most notorious man. Really, really bad guy. There's a film on him next year from my books. He was a really evil, bad guy. The films are going to come. Roy Shaw, Cat A Prisoner. Who else have I done? You know, Paddy Maloney was a drug dealer. A couple of Lee Duffys. Dominic Negus was on Danny Dyer's Deadliest Men. You know, and I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be working for Alex Reid. I'm going to be Mick Saw, and yeah, you know, listen, does writing books about footballers excite me? Probably not. But I defy anyone to tell me who's read my book, any of my books, right? And, you know, I know certain someone who write these hardman books and they're beating 10 people up on every page. I'm not like that. Paul Sykes could have been a millionaire. Yeah, he died in the gutter.
Cool. I totally get that. Let's bring it back then. Anxiety on this, right? So you're out there, right? You've admitted to everybody you do suffer from anxiety. Yeah. And again, just going back to it, how's that crossing over that gives you the persona that other people think that you're on drugs? Is it a behavioural thing, or? Because I've got to be honest, I've not really working with you, and I've done a lot of work with you.
Cocaine addicts sniff. I have bad days when I'm, you know, I've been really, this is nothing compared to what I was like years ago before you knew me. And, you know, I've been in pubs and, you know, listen, I'm holding my hands up now, right? Yes, I've been, but drugs with the cocaine, that hasn't been part of my life for over 10 years. Yes, I might have did it once or twice a year, kind of when you said to my mates, no, I'm all right, then you have 4 pints and you get dragged into it. That hasn't been my life since I was about 26. But obviously, I've been in pubs and Shirley said they think you're on drugs, you know, and it's like, but I'm not. And you know, the saddest thing is, it's like Shirley said to me for years, you need to sort yourself out and behave.
So let's just talk about it. You mentioned Shirley, right? For those who don't know, Shirley's his wife. There's, she's your rock. So there's a family aspect to this as well. So how's all this shit affecting your family?
She's just a mother of three. You know, why should she be getting messages called all the most disgusting names in the world because I write books? Do you know? And it's.
But are you encouraging that? Are you fighting fire with fire?
No, I'm not.
You know, because
no, I'm not, because
I can't send out people would just suddenly lock in for no reason.
Because she runs my pages, so I don't run them. So basically, and I've got other people, War Cry Publishing, run them. Half the times when I get messages, I don't even see them and I don't want to see them. You've probably heard God knows what about me. I'd rather not know.
And I don't tell you.
Yeah.
For them reasons.
Paul Venice has heard loads of stuff, and I've heard stuff about Paul. But you know what? What kind of person? There's people out there, you know, Christians, but they're dragging people's characters. And where's the Christianship in that? You know, and it defies belief. It really, really does. You know, listen, I'm openly. My problem's right. Listen, everyone's been young and stupid and been on drugs.
No, I haven't, but you know,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm sure you must have had cannabis.
Never had cannabis in my life.
Right.
I'm an absolute...
Cross-dressing, dogging. No. You've got one vice, Paul, right? Yeah. But anyway, everyone's got a vice. You need to list a long list, but yeah. But yeah, let's keep it real. Yeah. Right.
Never touched it.
So that was finished and gone since 2007, my son been born. And then so 9 years, and it was like I give up drinking. I was like, hang on a minute, this is great. I don't get any hangovers. I can take some tablets. I can still type. I can still work. All them books are written. You know, I mean, I made a Joker one this year. I've done one this year for the first time, not on tablets. And my boss said to me, if this is a load of crap, you're going to have to start going back on drugs. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and listen, do you know what? Cards on the table. It's probably, I'm not jumping through hoops. I've got to do this, but I'm not a mass murderer. I'm not a bad person. You know, I'm just an average person, vulnerable.
So what about, let's go back to Shirley and the family. Yeah, she's took some shit. Are the kids aware of stuff going on, or what? How's that playing out within the family? Let's you know, are you taking it out on the kids because of your stress, or how?
Let's look at it for what it was. Right, the kids didn't really know because I wasn't going out robbing handbags. I wasn't out till all hours dancing. Right, I was taking prescription drugs and laying in bed watching telly. Typing, I could work. So it wasn't, you know, on a scale of what you're asking, it wasn't really like ruining my life to that much. You know, I still, but obviously, like that video, the reason that happened was I had the tablets, but I was drinking as well. And that's just...
And what was that? Was that a relapse?
Oh, yeah. No,
why did you start drinking?
I didn't realise two combined, and that's just something that is always probably going to come back and haunt me for the rest of my life when I've got to take it on the chin, because there's people out there just glorifying it, and these are the, you know, same people as you think.
Well, you know, you don't need to go down that. Like I say, for me, it's, you know, I see these things and I don't side with that. You know, you tell me other things, I kind of don't side with that. I'm trying to get a neutral stance on it all. And obviously working with you, a level of concerns there, which I wanted to address, come round tonight. You said you're happy to do it there, and this is a perfect forum. You know, there's no ulterior motive for me, because I was having this chat with you regardless or not. You said set it up and you'll just tell the truth to everybody, and it's absolutely fine. You know, we've got the capacity to do that, and that's what we're going to do. You're coming across, you know, quite, not quite honest. To me, you're coming across honest. You look clean. You look. I have no cause for concern with that. I don't know how that's coming across on the camera. It's yet to be seen. But you seem like you're getting a lot of shit at the minute.
Yeah.
Are you causing any of that, or is it jealousy? Is it past? I know you've mentioned things in the past are coming back to haunt you. We've seen a video surface, and for me, I bet you dread seeing my name come up on your phone. Like, it's like,
I do.
No, it's like straight away. It's like, for me, and I'm being totally honest with you, it's like, oh, what the fuck now? It's true.
Yeah.
And you probably know now when I'm ringing, I'm probably going to be, giving you an ear bashing, or not so much an ear bashing, just to say what the fuck's going on.
The sad thing is I asked people advice about this before, and there's a saying that never try and ruin anyone's life with a lie when yours could be ruined the truth. I don't want drama. I actually really, really do not want any drama. All I want is, listen, I've made mistakes, and I'm gonna probably account for them for the next 10, 20 years. People reading this and people will be eating I've got certain trolls, and they just make, I kind of admire them, to be honest, because they make different profiles up every day to call me a fat lesbian. And if you're out there, I think you bang on, mate. Because
but let's just take that one side.
Do you know what?
If you've got a message for these trolls, right? Now, I mean, for me, you don't need to give me a message, because I would come and I'd see this at face value. If you've got a message for people that you want to get people to understand you more,
I've just had to, right?
What would that be?
This is something it was suggested to me once or twice over the last year, and I thought, nah, no chance. And I suppose fate life is like a game of chess, and certain people have moved things, and I'm not interested in drama. I'm not interested in trying to ruin anyone's character. Listen, I've wasted 20 years of my life, right? What was I? A doorman, a forklift driver, a labourer.
That's not wasted.
I never. Yeah, I always provided for my family, right? But I did jobs that I never liked. Now I've got a job I do for free, and it's all been this last 3 or 4 years. And I thought, hang on, if I can actually, it's amazing sometimes, and when some of my boss will ring up and say, this film actor bought your book today, or a footballer or a boxer.
Yeah, that's going to give you a boost. But let's just quickly get back to this question, right? If you've got, and then what we'll do is we'll wrap it up and leave it at that. If there's one message, right, that you want to say, right, to all these people, right, who are seeing you in a different light to what is reality in your world, what is it you want to say to them? Is it just give us a chance? Or is it please lay off? Or how do you want
to? Because I'm in the public spotlight, and I'm there to be shot, and that's just a fact. So it comes with the territory. Listen, I understand that my books and for everyone, right? Listen, I was 11-year-old. I was in primary school when Lee Duffy was about. When Paul Sykes was doing the things he did, I wasn't even born. And
I get that, because that's where research comes into it. In order to produce a book, you've got to have the facts. I totally get that. So what is the message for people out there who've probably watched this, and if they watched it all the way through, spot on, top job. It's been kind of long-winded, but what I wanted to do tonight is I just want to get the bottom of some of these things.
It's
for me, and you wanted to make them public, so
some of them have been totally ludicrous, right? I'm not gonna. You don't have to be worried here, because I'm not gonna. But I mean, I've been called some terrible things, some laughable things as well. I'm not even going to address. And
so mentally, I know it's hit you. I'm going to ask that question.
But
have you thought about committing suicide?
Oh, for fuck.
No, that's fair shout. Again, I'm asking the question. I'm trying to gauge the stability in your head.
Absolutely. No. But I've probably been as rock bottom. There's like days where I'm just like, You know, I rarely even drink anymore now because I can handle it.
So with that then, right?
When I don't have a drink and I'm on the ball, I'm all right.
So you're on the drink, you're off the drink, you're on the drink, you're off the drink.
Yeah.
What would you categorise yourself as?
I drink about every 12 days, if that.
All right, okay. Right. So
I went 19 days the other day.
So, well, fair play to you for that. You're on the drugs, you're off the drugs, you're on the drugs, you're off the drugs.
I'm not on any drugs now. Yeah. I haven't been since March, apart from CBD oil. And when I go to the doctors, I will be, you know, whatever the anxiety issue is. It's got worse since I've been in the public spotlight. You know, I'm fine now. Probably I'm as good as, you know. But yeah, it's horrible sometimes when. Listen, if you want to hate me, right?
I don't hate anybody in life.
No,
so, you know,
but listen, I totally get that my genre is not for everyone. You've only got to look at, I mean, the Gazette love me because I cause outroar. Yeah. You know, but when you've only got to look at some of the figures in that T's Live,
yeah,
they
just bring it back.
Like 214,000 have viewed it in forums and all that, and you know, good or bad, people, you know, I cause controversy, but do I think, do I glorify in any of them? No, absolutely not. No.
So again, as you know, to the people who probably hate your fucking guts for reasons that they've maybe seen posts, this, that, and the other, you know, the real Jamie Boyle. So you're not on drugs, and you can categorically
absolutely,
say that.
And also, I'd like to say the biggest thing is, do you know, this is just one thing that you. I mean, I have to speak to some people, and I really admire Paul Venice. I admire Chris Lambriano because but never ever judge someone on the opinion of others, because you know, and it's people. I've had people deleting me last couple of weeks, and I've thought, you know, I'm not even gonna go and explain myself to you, you know, because it's an outright lie about certain things, and then, you know, I think if you thought of that much of me anyway, just go away. Do you know, as I'm getting older, the more attention I'm getting, the more I just kind of want to, you know, as I've said to a certain few of my friends, if you hear from me or text me, you've got to be fucking really special, because it's just like, you know, it's just, and I said to the wife, have I been really, I'm 40-year-old now, have I been really walking around with my eyes closed? Because there seems to be a lot of horrible people in the world, but, you know, people glorify and love someone's downfall. This is something, listen, I didn't, you know, I've done it. Will I live to regret it? I don't know. But all I can do is just be honest and put my cards on the table, and then...
Cool. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll leave it there. What I've said on this is only what I was saying to you, regardless. Again, you said you were happy doing this, and this is why this has been done. And hopefully, people will either like you or loathe you, and you can't help it.
Absolutely. Listen, you know, it's like, you know, YouTube, their love, right? Their love people who don't have the channels and take the thingies off. Basically, YouTube love to see interaction. You know, it's like Amazon. You know, they don't like all 5 stars because they think it's your mates. So listen, I get that. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not everyone's favourite person, but, you know, if you're going to hate someone, at least hate them for the right reasons. And what's the reason for hating me? What? Because I write books for a living?
Yeah. Cool. Right, we'll leave it there, mate.
Absolute pleasure.